Bada bing, bada boom, here we go. Another episode of Chef Jeff in the kitchen, and we are making no mistakes. Might make a couple today, I'm sure somebody will tell me. But today we're going to do banana bread, and I've done banana bread a couple times, but this time I'm going to add some blueberries. Why not? I've never done that before. Blueberries are high in antioxidants. Don't really know what that is, but if you are pro-oxidants, don't add blueberries to your banana bread. Pretty simple recipe. I think I've got everything I need. I don't really know. I've seen a couple of different recipes. I don't think I'm tweaking this one that much. You know, just really doing it the way I want to. If you like walnuts or pecans or pecans or however you might say it in your banana bread, you go for it. I don't like it. But blueberries this time. Let me bring you in, show you all the ingredients, tell you what measurements I'm going to use. I'm actually going to use some measurements for this, really because you're baking, and you know you want the flour, baking soda, all that stuff. You really want it to work properly, and I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm kind of following measurements on that. But let me go ahead and bring you in here, check everything out, and then I'll get everything mixed up. Going through a list of all the ingredients, and then I'll kind of give you a breakdown of the measurements that I'm using. I've actually used 3 overripe bananas, and in case you're wondering, overripe is better because they're a little bit sweeter, also easier to mush up. So just kind of fork mush them. I'm going to be using 2 eggs, some extra virgin olive oil. Definitely don't want to use that Hoochie Mama olive oil. I'm going to use probably about a cup of blueberries, some parchment paper to line the pan. Most of your recipes you're going to see for just regular granulated sugar. We don't really have that in this house, so we use this kind of sugar. That's what I'm going to use. Some flour, some baking powder, some baking soda, and I think Arm & Hammer baking soda is for baking, right? Not just sticking in your fridge and soaking up disgusting whatever the heck it does. I don't know. And some vanilla extract. I think that pretty much covers it. So I'm going to measure out about a half a cup of this. I might use all of it. I don't know. But let me get this all mixed up. Here's my mixing bowl. Let me get some stuff in there and mix that up, and then I'll start adding some of the other ingredients and come right back. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. It's that easy. Now, I think I said I was going to follow some measurements on this one, but I'm already just flying off the cuff here. So I had 3 bananas, and the recipe I saw only called for half a cup of mashed bananas, and 3 bananas was much more than half a cup, so I'm just rolling with it. I still only used 2 eggs. I need to do a tablespoon of the vanilla extract. I'm probably going to do 2. Calls for a tablespoon of baking soda. I'm probably going to do 2. Calls for a tablespoon of baking powder. Probably going to do 2. Calls for a cup of blueberries, but I don't know. I think I'm just going to feel that out as I get in there and see how it goes. Now, it also called for a half a cup of oil. To me, it just seems like a lot of oil, so I didn't do a half a cup of oil. I did a little bit less. And as far as the flour, it calls for 2 cups of flour, and I'll do 2 cups of flour at first and see how that looks, and just kind of go from there. But that's probably going to be enough. I think I mentioned it calls for salt, but I'm not going to add salt because I really don't like adding salt to stuff. And yeah, I think that's about it. Let me get the other ingredients in there all mixed up, and then I'll put it in the baking dish or whatever that thing is called. And I have no idea what size that is. I looked on it, it doesn't say anything, so hopefully all of this fits. All right, I'll be back. And I've got everything mixed in there. I'm probably going to have to set the camera down while I stir all this in. But yeah, let me get all this stirred up. Then all I got to do is add the blueberries, put it in the pan, and that's it. It's really simple. And we got it all mixed up. Now I'm going with almost 2 cups of blueberries. Now you definitely want to rinse your blueberries and check for stems. Every once in a while you might have a stem in there, and you definitely don't want to bite into some banana bread and get a stem. So check them out for some stems. Dump them in there. Now I'm going to mix these up. I'm going to take some parchment paper and I'm going to line this just to keep it from sticking a little bit, and that'll be it. All right, sorry I got to kind of cut out and come back, and really aren't a lot of action shots, but I really don't have the equipment to do that, but maybe one day I will. As you can see, I've got everything loaded in there, and maybe some of those of you that bake, you might be looking at this and going, oh boy, Chef Jeff, you got problems ahead of you, because when that cooks, it's going to be about 3 or 4 inches above that, above the lining of that pan. Well, I have no idea. And you know what? Fantastic if it is. I'm going to go for it, see what happens. I'm going to put it in there for, let's see, probably about, I think the recipe called for 65 to 70 minutes at 325. Then we got to rest it, let it rest in the pan for about 10 minutes. We'll take it out, and you're supposed to let it rest for about another hour. So got a long road ahead of me before I get to taste some of this, but I'm going to put it in there. Fingers crossed I don't make a mess in my stove. I don't have any idea. How's it going to taste? I don't know. You're going to have to stick around and find out. As you can see, I got it in there, and I went ahead and put a piece of aluminum foil underneath it just in case I have some spillage, because I really have no idea. I don't bake at all, so let's see what happens. All right, so I just took it out of the oven. I only had it in there for 60 minutes. The recipe I saw said 65 to 70, but as you can see, I think it's pretty well done. I don't know. I don't do a temperature thermometer or anything like that, but just from the color of the top, I think it's probably done. Now I'm going to let it rest here for about 10 minutes, and then I'll take it out and let it rest again for about an hour before I actually slice into it and taste it. I can tell you it smells fantastic. I don't know how it's going to taste with the different flour and all that stuff. Oh, I did want to say, I think I was saying tablespoon when I was talking about those measurements. Teaspoon. It was not a tablespoon, teaspoon. So yeah, there you go. All ready to go. It has been resting for an hour. I had it on like a mesh, I don't know, rack. I guess that's what it is. But let me bring that in so you can check it out. Loaded with blueberries. I know blueberries are really healthy for you. My wife puts them in her shakes and all that stuff all the time. She's in great shape, so probably going to be good for me. So I'm just going to cut a slice of this off, give it a taste, and I'm using this awesome knife. Check that out, pretty cool. My buddy Danny got those for me. Oh yeah. Looks like it's almost like a blueberry muffin. So let me go ahead and give this a taste, see how it is. Loaded with blueberries. No mistakes. Yeah, maybe one day I'll measure stuff and see if it changes the way things taste, but I mean, maybe I'm biased because I really like banana bread. I love bananas. Blueberries just add more flavor to it. I wish I didn't let it sit for a whole hour because it's cooled off a little bit too much for me for banana bread. Banana bread is great warm, right? Just got to nuke it in the microwave. But hey, give it a shot. If you mix up the recipe, if you actually follow it and measure things, I know I didn't really give you measurements, and I added more of one, less of another, so you know it's not rocket science, right? This is a success. Success means no mistakes. So that's where we're at. I'll catch you next time. Give it a shot. More banana bread. Chef Jeff, I'm out of here. Take it easy.